Every phone has a few tricks up its sleeve, especially good phones, and the Moto Z Force is a good phone. So what are some of those tips and tricks to help you better your experience with it? Let's go ahead and check them out. The first one's pretty cool. Let's say it's dark outside. You can't see what you're doing or can't see where you're going. What can you do to be able to turn a flashlight on without having to turn on your phone and unlock it? Simple, just a quick hand chop, turn on the flashlight immediately. It's one of the best tools that I've ever come across on the Moto line. They've always had really cool options and tips and tricks, and that's one of the most prevalent ones. I've used this so many times when I'm in the dark, and it's always come in handy for me. So that's something you should always remember, is just a quick hand chop on and off the flashlight. It's really cool, actually. The next one's super simple and super handy. Suppose something's happening, you need to take a picture of it, and you don't want to unlock your phone, do this, or have to unlock it with your fingerprint, go into the app, and then the app takes a little bit to load because you did all that. The simplest thing to do would be hand twist. It turns on the camera immediately. It's one of the best ones that I've always found useful, and it'll never let me down. It's always really fast, it's always really stable, and one of the best features on this thing. I do tend to be a little slow to the draw, but if you can do this fast, then you probably won't ever miss another picture. Another thing that's actually really useful, and I've only really found is a big thing on the Moto Z and Moto Z Force, is the fact that you can turn off the screen by holding down the fingerprint sensor. You don't have to press hard, you don't have to double tap, you don't have to do anything special. You literally just hold it down like you were scanning your fingerprint, and it turns off the screen. This is pretty useful if it's on the table, laying down, and you don't want to, pick it up to touch the power button, or it's right there in front of you. You could just turn it off like that. It does get mistaken for a home button for the first couple weeks you use it. From experience, I know it took me about 2 weeks to get used to this thing, but I've actually come to love it a lot, and that's one of the features that Motorola tells you about in the beginning when you start using the phone, but you kind of forget about it. But once you start using it, it's really useful and you can start to enjoy it. All right, so the next tip is one of my favorites, and I've loved. When I had the Moto X 2015 edition, I couldn't stop using it. It was always one of the most useful things ever. It was the fact that you can hover your hand over the phone and it shows you your notifications. It's dimly lit, but it shows you your notifications, what's going on, what's happening, time, date, stuff like that. And it's always been perfect for me, especially if it's laying on the table. Once again, you hover your hand over it and it turns on and you're able to see exactly what you need to see. It's perfect. The way this works is there are sensors built in around the phone, and anytime your hand blocks those sensors, it'll tell the phone, and the phone will automatically know to display notification. You got battery, you got time, date, stuff like that. And it's actually really useful, and it becomes second nature, much like the home button thing, the hand twist, the hand chop, and all those things combined. The last one is kind of a no-brainer, and kind of one of the most simple things to do since you have the Moto Z and Moto Z Force. Just get a power pack module. It's so simple, just stick it right on and you don't have to worry about it again. It's one of the best things about the Moto Z Force and Moto Z is the fact that it has modularity for tons of different things. And you have speakers, you have monitors or projectors, you've got tons of stuff. But the most important one, I think, is probably the power pack that slips right on, and then you don't have to worry about it. You have cases that have plugs in them, you just plug it in and stick the case on, and then it has that extra battery, but those tend to be really bulky and disgusting and no one really likes them. But the power pack module is actually pretty slim, and it doesn't add a lot of girth to your phone, which is one of the best things about it. There are probably tons of other tips and tricks you can do, but those are probably the most 5 prevalent ones and most important ones you want to know if you're going to be using this phone. It's a great phone. I would definitely recommend it. I've had a lot of fun with my time with it, and it's been one of the better phones that I've ever tested. I can honestly say that from my standpoint. I don't know about my team members, but me, I love this phone a lot. So go ahead and check this phone out and check out the review if you can. But that has been 5 tips and tricks you can learn about your Moto Z Force and Moto Z to be able to better your experience with it. Until next time, I'm Andrew with Your Tech Explained, and please hit the subscribe button if you like the video for more content like this weekly. Thanks for watching.